Hello again, and welcome to Reading with Miss Tolliver. Today, I will be reading another book to you, and this book is entitled The Secret Knowledge of Grown-Ups. This book was written and illustrated by David Winowski. The truth must be told to kids. Far too long, for centuries, in fact, it's been covered over, hidden, impossible to find, a conspiracy, an organized silence by generations of grown-ups has kept the truth from millions of children throughout history. And what is this truth, you ask? Simply this: the reasons grown-ups tell you to do things are not true. Eat your vegetables, they say. Why, you ask? They're good for you, they reply. Nonsense. Comb your hair, they say. Why, you ask? It keeps it neat, they reply. Poppycock. There are far more sinister, truly macabre reasons for these seemingly innocent requests. As a parent, I went along with it all at first, going to secret meetings, memorizing huge volumes of lies and falsehood, preparing for the day when my kids would want to know why this and why that. But not anymore. Over the last 3 years, I've gathered as much information as I could, crisscrossing the country in clever, impenetrable disguises, breaking into secret files kept by hundreds of grown-ups, assembling the evidence, and now it's here, in your hands. It's the truth. It's real. It must go. They're coming. I can hear them. Quickly, take this book, read it, learn the truth. Locations: American Produce Council, Aurora, Illinois. Date and time: July 22nd, 1997, 1:30 p.m. Log: enter APC compound in vegetable truck, posting as large eggplant. Break into the file room during lunch. Discover grown-up rule number 31. Escape through crowded cafeteria claiming to be leftover masaska. A kid's guide to the secret knowledge of growing up. To keep them under control. Millions of years ago, vegetables ruled the earth. Big bunches of broccoli stomped through the jungles, followed by ferocious carrots and savage packs of peas. Huge heads of lettuce roamed the grasslands, and giant celery stalked the plains. And what are these terrible vegetables looking for? You guessed it, people. Yes, these were meat-eating vegetables. They terrorized the early humans, attacking without warning. Our ancestors put up with this for centuries, living in a drafty cave and getting nasty head colds. But then they discovered sticks and stones. With these new weapons, humans began to define themselves. At first, lone hunters would take a single radish or green bean. Eventually, groups of hunters tackled bigger game, like the saber-toothed asparagus and the woolly cucumber. By mixing these vanquished vegetables, primitive chefs invented salad. The real turning point, however, was the discovery of fire. With it, hunters could frighten the less intelligent vegetables into ambushes and traps. This brought the age of vegetables to a close. As the human race grew in size and intelligence, vegetables became smaller and dumber, devolving into pathetic produce of gardens and grocery stores. To prevent vegetables from ever regaining power, grown-ups eat them. They don't like the flavor and more than you do, any more than you do, but it keeps the little harvest fearful and demoralized. It's a simple way to protect modern civilization. Besides, which would you rather do? Eat vegetables or be eaten by vegetables? Location: United Dairies Corporation. Date and time: July 31st, 1997. Log: disguised as Paul Greensby, led herd of cows into high security areas. to stop our atomic cows from exploding. Kids have been told that millions of cows produce our country's milk. That's not true. At this moment, only 5 giant cows do all the work. The others are decoys made of plywood and old box springs. One of these colossal cows is Flossie. 80 feet tall, she provides a daily milk supply for Utah, Nevada, Wyoming, and Colorado. Flossie is kept under tight security as a secret Air Force base, right next to the hangar where they stack all the bagged up flying saucers. Flossie's size is no accident. In 1950, our government was afraid that the Russians would develop the first atomic cow and flood the market with communist milk. To prevent this, American scientists fed Flossie and her friends radioactive hay. The experiment worked great, and government officials were very happy that all this milk is available. But they worry about one thing: Flossie can't be turned off, the milk just keeps coming. For this reason, all atomic cow sites are equipped with extra milking machines. For backup, glass cases on the wall contain emergency farmers with really big hands. However, there is one crisis. The government can't prepare you for kids not drinking milk. If that happened, Flossie would have to hold it. Getting bigger and bigger until nuclear meltdown. Such a catastrophe forever scars the landscape between the Arizona towns of Flagstaff and Winslow. A huge crater is all that remains of Doris, the only atomic cow that ever exploded. When kids felt the ground shake and saw the curled up clouds of dairy products from over the desert back in 1962, they were told that a meteor had hit the local testy freeze. Now you know better, so drink your milk. To stop it from going back into those little holes in your head. Yes, that's right. Doesn't grow out. Hair grows in. Why else would you pull it around with a comb? After all, you only pull things when they want to go the other way. Within the scalp, thousands of powerful sumo cells drag individual hairs into the head. The hair passes through the skull, which protects the brain from shock. After traveling through a layer of fat, which protects the brain from thinking. The proof of reverse hair growth can be found in the following time lapse. Photography of a newborn baby. Notice that the infant arrives with an abundance of hair. This is entirely normal. When the sumo cells begin their lifelong work, within moments, a short haired baby is presented to gullible brothers and sisters who stroke the baby's head, thereby preventing complete baldness. Because most girls brush and comb their hair a lot, they don't have to worry much about reverse hair growth. Boys do, not only because they don't comb much, but also because many get very short haircuts. RHG happens so fast. A flat top or crew cut can grow back into a guy's head in one night. Luckily, there are 2 ways to avoid this danger. Blow on your comb, blow on your thumb. This raises your body's air pressure and creates internal wind gusts of 75 miles per hour, forcing sumo cells to release hair shafts. Do not be alarmed if you hear a slight whistling noise when you do this. It is only extra air between coming out of your ears. Chew gum. Microscopic gum molecules find their way to the inside of your head, where they stick to the sumo cells for at least 48 hours. Chewing more gum will extend this time. But what if you get really careless and don't comb your hair and it all grows back inside your head? 2 things will happen. You will be bald, your head will be staffed with ingrown hair. This doesn't leave much room for brains. Then you will be bald and kind of stupid. However, all is not lost. Nature is wonderful and takes care of cranial hair overload in a couple of great ways. It directs the hair to grow someplace else. This is why so many bald guys have herds of mustache, beards, and mustache. It is known it is a known fact that William Shakespeare sprouted a mustache and goatee to alleviate the brain crowding caused by CHO. It relocates the brain to a place that has more room, like a briefcase or a hat. For instance, British leader Winston Churchill kept his brain in a bowler hat for many years, then switched it to a bomb-proof briefcase when World War II began. The next time you spot a bald guy, see if he wears a beard, a mustache, or a hat, or if he carries a briefcase. If he does, chances are he's pretty smart. If not, talk slowly and don't use any big words because he's probably a dope. Location, Neftchi Straw Factory. That sucks your face right into the glass. Kids don't know it, but thousands of these incidents happen every year. That's why all grown-ups keep an emergency suck face kit with a hammer and crowbar within easy reach of the dinner table, where most milk-related accidents occur. Unfortunately, a quick rescue seldom prevents the hideous result of having your face sucked into a glass. Because of their unusual features, sucked face survivors once faced cruel taunts and demanding careers of licking stamps and blowing up balloons. However, recent advances in face masks have allowed many of the affiliated to renter society. As these dramatic before and after photos show, many talented, prominent citizens have returned to lead fulfilling and productive lives. But why give yourself problems? Don't blow bubbles in milk with a straw, or never blow bubbles into a soda bottle. Location, Burgess, California. Date, December 12th, 1997. That the food will want to play with you. Honestly, it doesn't take much to get food to play. At once it starts, it's almost impossible to stop. That's when things get messy. The only exception is food from the school cafeteria, which is so depressed about its career that it won't react to anything. Even bland foods can be a challenge. Oatmeal keeps playing gin rummy even after the cards stick together. Poached eggs spend so much time on crossword puzzles that the paper falls apart. And applesauce plays checkers long after you can't see the board anymore. This stubborn playfulness increases with spicy foods. Tacos insist on tag, then get salsa all over the couch. Swedish meatballs beg to play soccer, but always leave gravy on the rug. Some foods are simply too rough to play with. Fried chicken loves to play chicken. As illustrated above, children and chicken parts rush at each other at high speed until one side moves out of the way. Pork can also be dangerous. Unless thoroughly cooked, it plays this little kitty went to market, which often ends with spraying toes. Knowing all this is usually stops kids from playing with their food. If not, make sure you wear a helmet and knee pads to dinner. That steak could be tougher than it looks. Location, Cozy Comfort Mattress Company. Date and time, January 17, 1998, 4:30 a.m. If you want to wake up the mattress. You see, mattresses aren't just big, lifeless rectangles crammed with stuffing. They are active, woolly creatures raised on farms in Scotland. There, the mattress herders sing a lovely ballad as their frisky matadors guide the beasts to pasture. Mattresses are bony things born of stuffing, cloth, and springs. Gaily now they graze the meadow, growing soon to be my bed. O single, double, queen, and king, a flock like this doth make me sing. Methinks my joy shall never wilt. By gar, the besties just ate my kilt. After growing to adult, the mattress starts a long period of hibernation. Undisturbed by noise and hodling, they are rounded up, sorted by size, and sold to stores. Then they end up in your bedroom, where they snooze peacefully after year, unless you jump on them. Fortunately, today's mattresses are very difficult to wake up. That wasn't the case with their hardy ancestors. When the first scouts arrived in Scotland by partial post more than 6,000 years ago, they saw wild mountain mattresses jumping from peak to peak by imitating the creatures Madding called the bagpipes. The Scots tried to capture one, but none succeeded. Then one night about AD 1040, the Scottish king Malcolm the Upset wandered the moors, trying to get over eating haggis, a real humdinger of a national dish. He stumbled upon a hibernating mattress, upon which he slept soundly for the first time in many years. When he woke, Malcolm realized that the wild mattresses was more comfortable than the boulder he usually slept on. King Malcolm brought the mattress home and began breeding it. Soon he was giving mattresses a gift to other kings and queens. Unfortunately, these feral mattresses woke up and started slinging royal around. An event immortalized on canvases by sword artist Red Harry McLegs, who was 5 years old at the time. This was very bad for King Malcolm, who spent the rest of his life in prison eating haggis. But it was very good for us. We now have the modern domestic mattress, which is mild disposition and long hibernating periods. Still, it's not a good idea to jump on your bed. That mattress might be hard to wake up, but it's not impossible. And for goodness sake, don't play the bagpipes near it. They grow. Just like carrot seeds become carrots and bean seeds become beans, fingernail scraps become fingers. After growing under your bed or between the sofa pillows for about 3 months, the new fingers leave their nest and go crawling around the house. At first, this isn't too much of a problem with your dimpled couples and sunny dispositions. The baby fingers are actually a kind of cute, but as they get older, the fingers start behaving badly. They ring your doorbell and run. They dial long distance to order anchovy and onion pizza, delivered by people who don't know. They swipe the icing off cakes and poke chocolates to find out what the fillings are. Psychologists think that the fingers act this way because they grow up alone without other belongings to a hand. Upon adolescence, the fingers form groups to make up for it. And that's the most important reason not to bite your fingernails. Top secret, the spread of teenagers' fingers gangs. These gangs are based on physical characteristics. They are the stubby creeps. This band of disturbed thumbs travels by hitchhiking. They get a kick out of making sudden jerk movements and yelling. Take a hike. Gang leaders wear black t-shirts with I am impossible scrawled on them. The pointing punks, these rebellious forefingers pointlessly scold and accuse people. They are often busted for picking noses and doesn't belong to them. For laughs, they'll poke you in the eye. The dirty digits, this bunch of middle fingers just stands around. That's bad enough. The ringleaders, these boisterous ring fingers, spend most of their time showing off flashy jewelry. Unlike members of other gangs, many are engaged or even married. Hell's Pinkies, this pathetic group of little fingers tries to imitate the ringleaders by wearing jewelry. Psychologists think they do it because they're self conscious about their height and have rotten jobs cleaning ears. So do society a favor. Stop biting your fingernails. If you can't break the habit, dispose of the scraps properly by sending them to an accordion factory. They use long fingers to test accordions because most normal people don't want to listen to them. The end. I hope you enjoyed this book. I surely did, and I'll see you the next time with Reading with Miss Tolliver.